My wife and I, both 38-year-old, moved house after 9 years of living in the same place. It's been emotional as it was, where she gave birth to our children, 8-year-old and 3-year-old, and we've made memories there as a family. But honestly, I am glad we are moving. We're only moving 45 minutes away, but it's much better for us. I own a small company with 6 employees, and we're short-staffed as it is. My wife and I had a moving date set, and there was nothing I could do to change it, meaning I had to take a day off work to help my wife with the move. I booked this day off in advance, as soon as I knew, and put in plans for my staff to keep business going as usual. Unfortunately, yesterday, the day of our move, one of my staff called in sick and said they will be taking 2 days off until they feel better. I couldn't really do much as I was currently loading up the contents of my home into 2 moving vans. It was not ideal, but I informed my other staff who understood. My wife and I were meant to get the keys between lunchtime and 2 p.m. There was a significant delay, meaning we didn't receive them until 6 p.m. For 4 hours straight, my wife and I were stressed as we thought there was an issue with our new house and we wouldn't be able to move, despite the fact we had just sold our home to another party. My wife was getting more stressed as time went on. We still had to feed and settle our kids, and we didn't even have beds or mattresses for them to sleep on yet. At one point, she was almost in tears. I was stressed too, but tried to reassure her everything would work out. We finally got the keys, but we were exhausted. After a long day, we got the essentials out of the moving vans, such as beds for our kids, some clothes, and I ran to the shop to get something for dinner. I tried to settle them as quickly as possible, but as you can imagine, our 3-year-old was tired and cranky. We left everything else in the moving vans for the evening and agreed to just do it all the next day. This morning, I got dressed for work. My wife stopped me immediately. She told me I am selfish for going to work today, as the vans have to be returned by a certain time, and there's no way she could move everything in just a few hours. I told her I had to go to work today as a manager who is already short on staff. One of my other workers had a midwife appointment that she had scheduled in weeks ago and couldn't miss, meaning we would be even lower on numbers, and after checking in yesterday, they struggled quite a bit with the workload, meaning I needed to be back as soon as possible. My wife said I am an idiot, expecting her to move all of our belongings and look after our 2 children, and that I would have to take the morning off at least. Unfortunately, my worker's midwife appointment was scheduled for the morning. I went to work anyway. I told my wife I will be home around lunchtime to help, but she texted me saying she will have finished it all by this point, so don't bother. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. Oof. I get you were in a shitty situation, but the second you realized how tight everything was going to be and how needed you were at work, you should have started looking to get movers or friends or TaskRabbits, anyone, to help move things off the truck and into the home at least. Moving everything herself with 2 small children, good heavens. Edited to add this because it keeps coming up in the comments. Wife DID managed to get help over and got it all done herself while caring for the children. She didn't know he'd planned to go to work in the morning, and GT. We left everything else in the moving vans for the evening, and agreed, to just do it all the next day. We, at least I, are judging for OP going into the work in the morning after agreeing to do the unpacking the next day the night before, leaving it all in the wife's hands and not considering getting her help in any way before leaving. Comment 2. You're the idiot. You had 2 vans of stuff to move and planned to do it all yourselves in 2 days? Closings always have hiccups and can have delays. You needed to plan better. Either plan for additional days or have movers. I read your comments about how it was unintentional that everything fell on your wife and that you didn't need movers until everything fell apart. And all that's great, but it all boils down to the fact that you went to work and left your wife to deal with everything on her own, You know, there's a pretty famous saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You need to do better. Hell, go on the local neighborhood FB page and hire college kids to come and unload the trucks if you can't get real movers, or call all your friends and ask for help. Anything is better than what you did. You need to apologize like your life depends on it. Comment 3. People like you piss me off. You came to Reddit to get our opinion, and the overwhelming majority finds you're the idiot. Yet instead of acknowledging this, you double down and try to defend yourself in the comments. I see from your replies that the only person you deemed was a fair assessment was from someone that claimed you weren't the AH. Either get off your high horse or get off this subreddit. Now, for the next story. Sister, 22 years old, and I, 26 years old, lost our mom 20 years ago. Mom had a lot of jewelry, and she had it in her will that we would each get specific pieces of it. Dad remarried a year later to Jane. My sister considers Jane her mom and Jane's daughter, Nora, 23 years old, her sister. Due to her feeling like they were just mom and sister and not step, my sister has given away all the jewelry she got from Mom to Jane and Nora. I always refused to let them borrow pieces from me. Jane always rubbed me the wrong way because she said my mom was not my sister's mom anymore, and she was basically a stand-in until her real mom, her, Jane, could come into my sister's life. She said it was disgusting that I would think it a bad thing for my sister to share pretty jewelry with no real meaning with her family. She said I was the one who was rejecting a mom and sister. My sister has nothing left from what Mom left her. When she was graduating high school, she was upset about not having anything to wear, or so it appeared, and she asked if she could borrow a bracelet. Mom left me. I was like, sure, just give it back after. But my sister gave it to Jane after, and it took months for me to get it back. I told Jane I would escalate the situation if I didn't. Everyone, meaning Dad, my sister, Jane, and Nora, thought I was shitty for that. Now the necklace has become an issue. It was Mom's favorite piece of jewelry, and I have always worn it. I wore it on my wedding day. My sister is aware that it was Mom's favorite, and she has seen photos of her wearing it. She wanted to borrow it to wear on her wedding day. I was like, no frickin' way. I told her I had made it clear after the graduation incident that she was never borrowing another piece off me again. And I told her that if she wants something of Mom's to wear, she should take back the stuff she gave away. My sister lost it with me and started yelling that I have always held it against her, that she didn't hold Mom on a pedestal and reject everyone who came into our lives after. She said I had no right to throw that stuff in her face. I didn't. And that she should be allowed to wear something of Mom's to her wedding, just like I did when I got married. She broke down and told me I was selfish and awful, and I took pleasure in doing this to her, and I sucked and had ruined her wedding. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Your sister was 2 years old. She had fewer memories of your mom. Jane is the real idiot for brainwashing a small child with such nastiness as a stand-in mom until the real mother comes along. I pity your sister for being taken advantage of, but you are correct to deny her use of it. It will never return to you. Jane has probably sold all the other pieces and guilted your sister that was what she needed to do to be a good mother. But the reason she attacked you is that she is confident of your love. If she were to blame the person really responsible, her mom, then the fear of hurt, condemnation, and rejection is too great. She knows, at some level, that isn't genuine love, it's conditional. Maybe as a child, Jane guilted her into thinking she, as a child, had to win Jane's love with gifts. Asking for those gifts back means that she loses her mother figure now. Take pics of your jewelry. Insure it if it is valuable. Install a good safe lock where you secure it when not wearing it. Jane might convince her to try to steal it to keep her mom happy. Comment 2. Not the idiot, it's your jewelry. If your sister valued the thought of owning something that belonged to your mom, she should have kept her pieces instead of giving them away to someone who had no real meaning towards the jewelry in terms of sentimental value. If she understands the sentimentality of having your mother's jewelry, she should have promptly returned your bracelet, not given your bracelet to your stepsister without asking you. You can't trust her. Either her own sense of propriety is warped, or your stepmom/sis have some undue influence on her. She can get hers back or deal with it. The biggest AH here are stepmom/sis to manipulate a child who lost their mother to just take somebody else's jewelry passed down from a relative. I hate the term how it's used most of the time, but here gold digger is very much appropriate. Comment 3. Info. Why can't your sister borrow the things she gave away to Jane and Nora? Not the idiot. I specifically asked this question because I was curious about your sister's motivation to nag you about your jewelry. Also because it appeared that your stepmother set her up to get the necklace and keep it for herself. My advice is that if you don't feel familial ties with your father, sister, and step creatures, go low or no contact. It's pointless to bind yourself in ties that don't exist. Free yourself from the resentment and pain. Edit. Second paragraph. Now, for the next story. My wife Lena crochets a lot and often gifts her creations to friends and family. When her second oldest brother got married, she made the bride a shawl to wear over her dress in the evening. The bride loved it, and ever since then, Lena has made shawls for everyone in her family who gets married. Now Lena's oldest brother, George, is getting married again. Lena doesn't have a relationship with George, as he was abusive to her as a child. But if she has to see him, she is polite but distant. She doesn't want to cut off the rest of her family because of George. I work with George, and while we aren't friends, we are friendly at work. Lena encouraged this. When George got transferred to my team, I was going to request a transfer to avoid exposing Lena to George, as my team often has get-togethers with our significant others. As it is a family wedding, Lena's mom asked her if she could crochet a shawl for George's fiancée, and Lena agreed. It was arranged that once it was finished, I would take it to work to give to George so Lena wouldn't have to see him. Earlier this week, the shawl was completed, and I emailed George at work to let him know that I would bring it in today since the wedding is tomorrow. When I got into work this morning, I gave George the shawl and let him know that Lena and I were looking forward to the wedding. Come lunchtime, Lena called me to let me know that George's fiancée had called her and told her that she was no longer invited to the wedding, citing that the venue was too small for the number of guests, so they had to make cutbacks. However, I was still invited to the wedding. I was mad because it seemed that they only invited Lena to get a shawl, which I found rude. If they had asked Lena outright to make one, she probably would have done it because she loves to crochet. On my way out of work, I noticed George wasn't at his desk, but the shawl was. Still upset about how they had used Lena, I just shoved it in my work bag. I left a note on his desk, telling George that since Lena was no longer invited, the shawl and I would no longer be attending either. On my way home, I told Lena what I had done and asked her if she wanted to go out instead so as not to waste our sitter. Lena was upset that I had taken the shawl as it was causing an uproar in her family group chat, where people were calling her petty because I took it back. Lena wants me to give it back. I don't think I should. They don't deserve Lena's kindness. However, at the same time, I don't want Lena to be upset with me over George and a shawl. Am I the idiot for taking back the shawl? Edit. I have messaged the group chat, letting them know that I took it, and if they should be pissed at anyone, then it should be me. But I would also do it again because no one gets to be rude to Lena. Now, for the next story. Pretty much the title. I, a 45-year-old female, and my pregnant daughter, a 23-year-old female, were discussing the upcoming baby. She asked me how hard breastfeeding was, and I told her I never did. She asked why, and I told her the only two people I knew who breastfed complained about it constantly, and it didn't seem worth the hassle, especially since her dad left me and I had to go back to work 7 weeks after she was born, and I only got an extra week because week 6 was Christmas week. She was upset and accused me of hiding this from her. I said it never came up. So she's all mad and has a call into her doctor to see if she is at a disadvantage because of this, and I should have disclosed the facts before she got pregnant, so she knew she was malnourished. She was never malnourished. She hit all her landmarks in infancy, was very healthy. I think she is being ridiculous, and she thinks I'm a total idiot. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. I think in modern culture there's an obsession with breastfeeding which is really unhealthy. The whole breast is best thing has made people a bit kooky. The truth is that fed is best. Your daughter, since she's pregnant, must be reading about the benefits of breastfeeding and is now feeling bad, probably driven a bit by pregnancy hormones as well. A lot of mom guilt can accumulate when you read all these blogs and books and whatnot. But you're not the idiot. If she hit all her milestones, then she's not unhealthy. She just needs to chill, though probably don't say that to her. From a new mom who struggled with breastfeeding and eventually figured it out. Comment 2. Not the idiot. My guess, your daughter has been talking about how superior breastfeeding is and how much she thrived under it to her circle of friends. I'd guess she probably also judged one or more other moms for not doing it. Now that she knows the truth, she's upset because she built her self-image around it. She probably accused other people of malnourishing their kids with formula. It's a whole thing. People do for some bizarre, self-important reason. Asterisk edit. Can't believe I have to say this, but the thing here is referencing being a jerk to other parents. Not the act of breastfeeding. Comment 3. Not the idiot. And good Lord, she needs to grow up or get over herself or something. How insufferable. Many babies weren't breastfed and they turned out just fine. I wonder what she would think if she realized there is a whole generation of babies fed carnation milk out of a canlol. Is she also the type who says that her baby will never eat a French fry or a goldfish cracker because they are unhealthy? Wait a few years and she might get knocked down a peg or two by her own experience. Or she will push everyone around her away with her drama and antics, one or the other. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day!